We're going to go through each of the 30 fences now and show you where your money went in the Randox Grand National of 2026. And if, like me, some of your money went on Grangeclare West, keep your eye, red colours, white sash, blue cap, toward the rear. At the back, you can see he doesn't get a very good start, Grangeclare West. And then he gets rid of last year's winning rider, Patrick Mullins. Right at the back, blue cap.
Down to the fence, we just keep an eye on him where he goes. He's high, he shoots Patrick up in the air, and ultimately Patrick comes off, and I'm sure he'll be quite disappointed with that, to be honest.
The helmet goes in a moment, doesn't it?
He is absolutely, the helmet comes off and he launches it to the turf.
Frustration. Blue cap is Quai De Bourbon up at the front with the pace there in the Jigginstown colours. This is where we lose him, and he jumps it quite well. He just gets high behind, screws a little bit in the air, and he comes down at the back of it.
And he just does no favours to Panic Attack. She's quite badly hampered, and I wonder if that contributes to her demise now, because she falls orange colours at the ditch.
Yeah, I think that knocked her confidence a little bit, didn't it, going into this fence? She'd been interfered with, then this fence comes up fast as well, and
she just stood a mile off it, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. She just landed on top of the fence. And
Banbridge wasn't fluent there, nor was Marble Sands. Harry Skelton walks away. Now they all get over the fourth and they start to settle down. Twig, yellow colours, Am I Right, high class hero up there. Marble Sands a mistake.
Look on the inside, I Am Maximus, Paul Townend.
That's a familiar route that Paul Townend knows pretty well on the inside.
Yeah, very much so. It's the route that he likes to take, and for him there wasn't not a lot of traffic in front of him really compared to what you can sometimes get.
Far outside, cheek pieces, Mr Vango. He'd been enjoying himself to this point, but he goes at Beaches. I wouldn't have had this one on my bingo card. Far left.
A horse with bags of experience around here. I thought that he wouldn't be one of the ones that we'd lose early in the race by any means, but that's a nasty fall for him. But good to see that he's up on his feet.
He just shifted to his left going into it, didn't he, a little bit?
He hampered Perceval Legallois in the yellow cap of JP McManus. The real whacker's not taking much interest. Gerri Colombe goes smallest fence on the course. Foynaven here, black sleeves.
Disappointing to see him go. I thought he might be a big player, but he didn't get that high on front, and subsequently he knuckles over at the back.
Oh, Jordans did well to avoid him. Quite badly hampered the eventual third. Jordans at Foynaven. And at this point, Jordans isn't really going anywhere.
No, he wasn't. I mean, that didn't help, did it? But he's a long way back. He's out of his ground, and that just underlines just how much ground later on in the race he made up very quickly.
Where is Iroko?
Just having a look for him, to see, because he comes flying home as well. Perceval Legallois is the one in the yellow cap towards the rear of the field. He's in the quarter cap with the noseband, actually, just behind the main leaders. Not too far from the front of the pace by any means. Jordan's at the back of the field.
Extraordinary topsy-turvy race that Jordan's ran. Top of the bill is up there with Am I Right still, and Twig. High-class hero of the ones who finished in the first few. He's the one that's been most prominent throughout.
Yeah, and James Bowen seemed to get a really good spin off him, actually. I thought he jumped well throughout. Twig made a bad mistake there. Lecky Watson also. Banbridge, I think, JJ has done really well to stay on board him, and
the real whacker made a terrible mistake as well, and he's pulled up quite soon.
Monty Starr was in a good rhythm actually early on. I thought he was going to be one to he really took to the fences, I thought.
He did. He just appeared not to get home in the end, didn't he? But you can see him up the inside, and that's the one that Townend seems to want to track up the inner. Monty Starr to take him into the race for a long way.
And look at Jordan's, the eventual third. He's having no piece of it at this point. He's got one behind him. Firefox is right out the back as well. And you can see Gorgeous Tom in quite similar colours to Iroko. Gorgeous Tom has got about 4 behind him and was never really sighted.
No, he was never in contention, was he? You'd maybe expected him to be handier. One that was in contention for a long way, High Class Hero. He ran really well. You did see him just in about 4th position at the moment.
Johnnywho and Richie McClernon with the blue cap, they were maybe just slightly ahead of mid-division of the field. Seemed to be in a good rhythm most of the way around. I think the run in the Sefton has really stood to him here today as well, that experience.
Imperial Saint, the bronze colours, in third for Philip Hobbs, Johnson White, Callum Pritchard. Going quite well for a long way.
He got very tired as well, didn't he?
Ran a big race for a long way though before he did get tired.
He seemed to jump well, mostly, didn't he, as well, in that handy position.
At the chair, we lose Oscar's brother and Banbridge. Now, Oscar's brother is the red cap of the McManus bevy, so the green and gold with the red cap towards the back, and Banbridge in the red cap this side. We lose them both at the chair.
High class hero, bad mistake as well from him there, a bit of a jolter.
Captain Cody did very well not to come down.
Oh, Oscar's brother just gets rid of Dan King there. He didn't get high at the chair. One of the biggest fences on the field. You can't do that there.
Answer To Kayf has only got about 3 or 4 behind him at this stage. Haiti Couleurs was never really sighted. He's in the midfield as Am I Right and top of the bill lead them over the water, and they've got a circuit to run.
Favori De Champdou was in a good posse here, wasn't he? And he's another that ran really well. I think the weight and the class of the race has ultimately just been a little bit beyond him, but he's run really well and taken to the track.
Probably half a mile from home, I was thinking that the cross-country form was still there, because we'd Favori De Champdou and very much final orders, who seems to be really enjoying himself there today, but he's just run out of steam late on final orders.
Getting confirmation through, all horses and jockeys are accounted for. No jockeys receiving medical attention, and as we said, Quai De Bourbon walked into the horse ambulance as we take them over fence 17.
Philip Enright on front on Am I Right? He's been getting an absolute screamer of a spin off this horse, the reserve that got in.
Now, just keep your eye on Marble Sands, the grey at the back here. Tom Bellamy picking up the ride for David Killahena and Graham McPherson.
It's right at the left-hand side.
Yeah.
Oh, bad mistake by Stellar Story there as well.
It's the end of Marble Sands, and a very good recovery from Robbie Dunn on Stellar Story.
I think he actually goes maybe at the next fence, isn't he? We lose Stellar Story as well.
We lose Jagwar here as well. We lose Stellar Story, and we lose Beauport.
Beauport unseat, no chance. Yeah, couldn't hang on there. And again, Jordan's interfered with a little bit. We'll see in a few moments' time that at the 3 mile 6 furlong point of the race, when Jordan's kicks clear, he fires in a 13-second furlong.
It's an utterly nutty run from Jordan's. It makes no sense whatsoever. Completely cold for most of the race, then whizzes round the outside and puts distance between himself and his rival.
Yeah, we'll see it again in a moment, but I think when Ben watches it back,
loose horses falling there, and hampered 3-card brag quite badly.
Yeah, did get straight back up, thankfully, the loose horse, didn't he? But that could have been a nasty incident.
Right, the hedge tells you this is beach as we lose Champ Kiely, who was tipping away quite nicely and just beginning to make a bit of a move under Danny Mullins.
No, he completed, didn't he, Champ Kiely?
Well, he makes a very bad mistake. I had him down.
Nose dives down at the back of that one.
I think I wrote him down as a non-completion on that and moved on, but he did complete. Apologies.
Danny Mullins picked him up off the floor there. Yeah. Spanish Harlem starts to backtrack there. Lecky Watson's running out of diesel as well.
All over the Foyne.
Now this is the point where the move starts on Jordan's. If you just keep your eye on him, blue colours with the yellow sleeves, and he just starts to come forward into the mid-pack and follow the leaders through. And quickly that sustains itself into that bold move off the bend.
And he made a bit of a mistake there as well. Spanish Harlem's tailing off, Lecky Watson's tailing off.
Even at the canal turn there, you notice the ground that Paul Townend saves the whole way with I Am Maximus. He's just in such a lovely rhythm, isn't he?
Like, I'd say that a dream ride, isn't it? Taking that inside route and saving ground the whole way. You know, the one's stuck right out. It's quite difficult for him.
Keep your eye on Captain Cody here in the orange colours with the blue cap, and Perceval Legallois behind him, because we lose them both in a few moments' time.
As Captain Jordan Cody, swings to the front.
Captain Cody
goes. Perceval Legallois went. Yeah.
So Perceval Legallois just doesn't seem to take to these fences, does he?
No. And Lecky Watson has been pulled up at this stage. Twig's right out the back. As Jordan's now starts to cut the race open.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point there where I say there's a 13-second furlong with half a mile to go.
Ow!
And, well, the horse has clearly got a lot left. And he's run a massive race, and he wasn't really going early, but you just have to think that when Ben looks back at it, he'll be thinking, maybe I should have just hung on in there a little bit more in behind the leaders for longer. And given the way that he's opened up, he clearly had a lot left going around the final bend anyway.
And you thought to yourself, he can't sustain this, and you're thinking, right, who's going to come out of the pack and do him?
He'd have to be thrown in, wouldn't he, to keep that going? And
your eyes drawn to Johnnywho, because he now passes high-class hero, the blue cap, but look, Townend is in no rush, and he just sidles his way between 3-card Bragg and Iroko.
He's confident, isn't he? Paul is confident because he's just going through the motions. He's just letting it all happen in front of him before he just creeps into the race. He doesn't even go for broke, like, because he knows this horse is just going to respond and just give and give and give.
It's that experience that he's got, isn't it? Big race riding experience that he's got. At the point that race opens up and Jordan's kicks off the front, you've got to be bold and confident to sit and just wait that little bit longer to know, and that's made a real difference with him. Obviously the horse is an absolute class act and a warrior under these conditions in this race, but
I think it's a really canny move with them putting the cheek pieces back on. I thought that was... It's unbelievable performance.
Iroko's the one again where you sort of want to, I'd almost want to see it. Obviously, when you've got your eyes on 36 horses, it's not easy to see them all right the way through. But the way that he's finished, sort of want to see it back again from the third last and see exactly how it unfolded for him.
JP McManus, the preeminent owner of our time, he wins this race after successes with Don't Push It and Minella Times, and now twice with this horse, I Am Maximus. He'll appreciate more than anyone just what it takes to come back and do that after a gallant second last year as well. And it was put to me earlier this week that Paul Townend, who was carrying an injury when he was second on him last year, might have thought in his own mind he actually ought to have won last year's race as well.
He wasn't giving up the ride on this horse, that's for sure. And lucky he didn't, because lucky he didn't side with Grangeclare West.
Extraordinary. Grangeclare West, who was detached and got rid of last year's winning jockey, Patrick Mullins, at the first. But just when you think you've got the Grand National taped, it comes and confounds you. And it was quite an old school national to watch in many respects.
It was dramatic, wasn't it? Certainly for the first circuit. And you know, the best news is that all the horses and jockeys have come back safely immediately after the race, which is the best news you can have, particularly the way that things did unfold. But it's 3 in a row for that man.
3 in a row, 4 in total. All began in 2005 with Headchunter, I Am Maximus twice, and of course Nick Rocket with his son on board last year. The Grand National, like every other race in the calendar, being kind to that man and to this man, Paul Townend. What a season again.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.